Welcome to Ten8. Ten8 is a more personal and journal-style series of articles by myself that will center around police management, criminology, and policing. The articles will not be the typical citation-driven essay style that I use. For those articles, please see my Medium page, published books such as Amazon, especially The Business of Policing, Volume 1, Crimes and Punishments in the 21st Century, or scientific published literature highlighted by The Business of Policing, Volume 2, Managing Ethical Police Conduct. Here I will post frequent thought streams on my personal philosophies. Thanks for listening in. This tragedy must be a comedy. Whether it is merely gaining knowledge or making broad societal changes, you do not actually want it. I mean, neither do I, so don't take this as a criticism. What I do is try very hard to learn things and then pass them along to others. Do with it what you will. No judgment. You may have heard me mention Google Trends before about this. Please go look for yourselves on what people are actually searching for. Hint, it has nothing to do with getting any of the things you want to be accomplished. Instead, people are searching for the outrage and victimization porn, not how to stop those things. We looked all over the country, visited nearly all 50 states from 2015 to 2017, and attended protests coast to coast. I even went and personally volunteered in Baltimore, Inglewood, Chicago, and more with community groups. Once people asked all of their generic questions about police, vented their anger at me, and received their fill of violence porn, their attention went back to outrage. Any activist should be aiming to end the purpose of their activism. I did not see activism. The goal I observed was to protest and complain. Every single time. And we are talking hundreds of incidents and opportunities. The activists had a clear and direct pathway towards fixing their complaint. They refused to take it. Refused. Even in Standing Rock, the activists just wanted to riot. The official government pursued a pragmatic pathway to stopping the pipeline. And guess what? Standing Rock ended up being the only successful protest in the last decade. It just took time and effort. The latter is sorely lacking in contemporary activism. My siding with the Sioux chairman caused much turmoil about my involvement in the protests from the activists. I think elements of what I am talking about are being clearly displayed by the protests of 2020, and really for a few years now at least. I just became aware of this at Standing Rock. I am sure that many would be rightfully looking at me with disdain for not already knowing. Moving to win the protests meant ending the purpose of these people established for their lives. It meant ruining their vision of the future. They did not really want it. Of course, there were good people on both sides. Many of the veteran participants at Standing Rock were there for all of the right reasons and rejoiced in the temporary victory obtained there, and surely rejoiced with the final victory all these years later. Those people were not the ones seeking leadership positions and wanting the spotlight, though. The Resist movement actively sought me out and listed me as one of the founding members. I wanted to hear them out. There were a lot of them, and they were organized. In the initial conference meetings, I kept asking what was being resistant and why. They kept saying Donald Trump. You cannot just resist a person, and this is the equivalent of organizing as Mike Pence for president. What are we resisting, and what for? Donald Trump? No. What if Donald Trump agrees to say socialized medicine, like you claim you want as a leftist/socialist? There was never an answer, so I left after a few meetings and emails. In the police protests and activism we attended all over the U.S., a very similar story followed. We would be in a city talking about police reforms that the community wanted. We would research ways to achieve the goals. And a place would need as little as 7,000 signatures to get their policies on the ballot. Excuse after excuse was made about the tactic, needing funds, no time to get the signatures, blah, blah, blah. Many would not even consider putting in the effort unless we, people from other states with no vested interests, got it organized into paid positions. Then, the next day, these activists would attend a protest with 20,000 people in attendance. Not a damn clipboard to be found. We would leave. At first, we left fascinated, then dismayed. Eventually, we left with a tinge of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and feeling that this tragedy must be a comedy.